Life. It's unpredictable, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. One moment everything feels perfect, and the next chaos. Sound familiar? But here's the question. What if, no matter what life throws your way, you could remain calm, centered, and unshaken? In today's fast-pacing world, turmoil is inevitable. From personal setbacks to global challenges, we're constantly tested. But here's the good news. You don't have to be at the mercy of life's storms. For centuries, Buddhist teachings have offered profound wisdom on how to find inner peace amidst life's chaos. These timeless principles aren't just for monks or spiritual seekers. They're for anyone who wants to live with resilience and serenity. In this video, we'll uncover 10 powerful Buddhist teachings that will transform the way you face life's challenges. Whether you're dealing with stress, uncertainty, or hardship, these principles will help you stay grounded and strong. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets to a calm and unshakable mind, let's dive in. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin with one of the most profound teachings in Buddhism, Anicca, the principle of impermanence. It's a simple yet transformative truth. Everything in life is temporary. Joy, sorrow, success, failure, they all come and go, like waves in the ocean. Nothing stays forever. Not the moments of bliss we cherish, nor the hardships we wish to escape. But here's the thing. Understanding impermanence isn't about losing hope or becoming indifferent. It's about recognizing the natural rhythm of life. When we hold on too tightly to the highs, we set ourselves up for disappointment when they inevitably fade. And when we resist the lows, we only prolong our suffering. Anicca teaches us that the key to peace lies in accepting that nothing is permanent. Consider this. Think back to a time when you were deeply happy. Maybe it was a promotion, a wedding, or simply a perfect day spent with loved ones. At that moment, it felt like nothing could go wrong, but eventually, that joy passed. The same goes for pain. Remember a time when you thought the sadness, anger, or frustration would never end? And yet, here you are. Those feelings have passed too. This understanding is freeing. When you truly embrace impermanence, you stop clinging to fleeting moments, hoping to freeze time, and you stop fearing the inevitable changes that come with life. Instead, you begin to flow with life, appreciating each moment for what it is, a part of a constantly shifting journey. Now, how do we internalize this teaching in our daily lives? One practical way is through mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us observe life's ebb and flow without attachment. Here's how you can start. The next time you feel overwhelmed by a difficult situation, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, this too shall pass. Watch your emotions as if they were clouds drifting across the sky, temporary and ever-changing. They might feel intense now, but they won't last forever. Likewise, when you experience moments of happiness or success, savor them fully but don't cling. Instead of thinking, I hope this never ends, try appreciating it as it unfolds, knowing it's a beautiful part of your journey. By doing this, you create space for both joy and sorrow without being consumed by either. Anicca reminds us that life is a dance of beginnings and endings. By embracing impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of losing what we love and the pain of holding on to what no longer serves us. We learn to ride the waves of life with grace, knowing that every storm will pass and every calm will eventually give way to movement. So, let go of the illusion of permanence. Embrace life in its entirety. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. When you do, you'll find a sense of peace that no external circumstance can shake. Impermanence isn't something to fear, it's a gateway to freedom. Now, let's dive into another core teaching of Buddhism, dukkha. The reality that suffering is an intrinsic part of life. It's something we all try to avoid. But no matter how much we seek comfort or control, life has a way of bringing us face to face with pain. It could be physical pain, emotional pain, or the suffering of loss and disappointment. This is not something unique to you or me. It's a universal experience. Buddhism doesn't shy away from this truth. In fact, it asks us to acknowledge suffering, not to resist it. By accepting that suffering is a natural part of existence, we can begin to approach life with a deeper understanding and a more peaceful mindset. After all, it's not the presence of suffering that causes distress, it's our reaction to it. We often try to avoid or numb pain, whether through distraction, denial, or even pleasure. We think that by pushing it away, we can maintain control over our lives. But no matter how hard we try, suffering always finds its way in. It's inevitable. The key then is not in running from it, but in how we choose to respond when it arrives. Dukkha teaches us that suffering is not just something to endure. It's an opportunity to learn. Growth often comes from the cracks in our lives. When we face difficulties head-on, we discover things about ourselves that we might not have known otherwise. Suffering reveals our attachments, our desires, and our cravings. It shows us where we are still clinging to things that don't serve us. For example, think about a time when you were deeply hurt. Maybe it was the end of a relationship or a setback in your career. In the midst of that pain, you might have learned something important. Perhaps you realized how much you depended on the approval of others, or how tightly you held on to a certain outcome. Suffering has a way of showing us where we are too attached to external circumstances and where we need to grow within ourselves. Here's a practical tip to work with this teaching in your daily life. Use suffering as a mirror for self-reflection. When you experience pain, ask yourself, what is this suffering teaching me? Is it showing you an attachment to a particular person, a situation, or an outcome? Maybe it's revealing an unfulfilled desire you've been chasing. Instead of simply wishing the pain away, take a moment to reflect on what it's trying to tell you about your deeper needs and longings. For instance, if you're struggling with frustration or anger, pause and inquire, what am I attached to right now? Are you clinging to an idea of how things should be? Are you resisting change or fighting against what's happening? When you acknowledge the source of your suffering, you take away its power to control you. Remember, dukkha doesn't mean that we're doomed to a life of endless suffering. It's simply a recognition that pain and discomfort are part of the human experience. But here's the beauty of this teaching. When we stop trying to escape suffering and instead use it as a tool for self-awareness and personal growth, we begin to transform it. The more we understand that suffering doesn't have to define us, the more we open ourselves to a life that is resilient, compassionate, and deeply rooted in wisdom. Pain may always come and go, but our response to it, our willingness to grow from it, can create a profound sense of peace and understanding that transcends the inevitable ups and downs of life. So the next time you face suffering, instead of trying to push it away, lean into it with curiosity and mindfulness. Ask yourself, what can this teach me? In doing so, you'll find that even in the midst of pain, there's an opportunity for healing and growth. Suffering, in its own way, is part of the path to liberation. In our lives, we often form attachments to things, people, and outcomes. We cling to our possessions, our relationships, and even our expectations for the future, thinking that these things define us or give us a sense of security. But what if I told you that true freedom comes not from holding tightly to the things we love, but from letting go? This is the essence of detachment, a fundamental teaching in Buddhism that invites us to release our grip on the temporary and to free ourselves from the chains of desire and expectation. We all know how it feels to become attached. It's natural, right? When we find something we love, whether it's a material possession, a person, or even a dream we've held on to for years, we often begin to define ourselves by it. We believe that our happiness is tied to the possession or outcome, and we struggle to imagine life without it. But the problem with attachment is that it creates suffering. When we hold on too tightly to anything, we begin to fear losing it. We worry about what will happen if the thing we're attached to slips through our fingers. And this fear becomes the root of much of our anxiety and distress. Here's the paradox. Detachment doesn't mean giving up on things we care about. It's not about becoming cold or indifferent. Instead, it's about recognizing that nothing in life is permanent. People, possessions, and situations, they come and go. And the more we attach our happiness to these things, the more we set ourselves up for suffering when they inevitably change. When we practice detachment, we stop relying on external circumstances for our inner peace. We begin to realize that true freedom comes from within. By letting go of our clinging, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the burden of unfulfilled expectations. Detachment allows us to experience life fully, without being enslaved by the need for control or the desire for outcomes. Let me offer you a practical tip to incorporate detachment into your life. Practice gratitude and let go of expectations. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you want to achieve, shift your focus to appreciating what you already have in the present moment. Whether it's a small moment of joy, a relationship you cherish, or a lesson you've learned from a challenge, gratitude brings you back to the now. It helps you see the beauty in what is, rather than what could be or what you wish were different. Letting go of expectations is also key. Expectations create attachments. When you expect something to happen, you tie your sense of peace to that future outcome. But life is unpredictable, and not everything will unfold as you hope. By letting go of rigid expectations, you allow yourself to flow with life as it is, rather than fighting against it. Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. While you can't control other people or circumstances, you can control how you choose to engage with them. By focusing on your inner world, you can remain grounded and serene, no matter what's happening around you. This shift in focus takes the power away from external conditions and places it squarely in your hands. Remember, detachment is not about rejecting life or becoming detached from people. It's about engaging with life fully and wholeheartedly, but without becoming overly attached to the outcomes. Let go of your clinging, and you will find that you can live more freely, more peacefully, and more joyfully. By practicing gratitude and releasing expectations, you create the space for a deeper, more meaningful connection with life itself. So take a deep breath, release your grip on what no longer serves you, and allow life to flow through you with ease. In detachment, you will find the freedom you've been seeking all along. Life moves fast, doesn't it? One moment you're reflecting on something from the past, and the next, you're worrying about what's to come. It's so easy to get caught in this mental tug-of-war, pulled by regrets and anxieties. But what if there was a way to step out of this cycle and anchor yourself in the only moment that truly matters, the present? This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. At its core, mindfulness is about fully inhabiting the present moment. It's about being here, now, with all your attention and awareness, free from the distractions of yesterday's worries or tomorrow's uncertainties. When you cultivate mindfulness, you gain a powerful tool to navigate life's challenges with clarity and calm. Think about it. How often do you find yourself lost in thought? Maybe you're replaying an awkward conversation from last week, or imagining worst-case scenarios for an upcoming event. These thoughts might feel important, but they pull you away from the reality of what's happening right now. And when you're stuck in this mental loop, you miss out on the richness of the present. Mindfulness teaches us to break free from this cycle. It's not about suppressing thoughts or emotions, but learning to observe them without judgment. You become a witness to your own experience, allowing thoughts to come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. This practice helps you stay grounded, even when life feels overwhelming. Here's a practical tip to bring mindfulness into your daily routine. Start with conscious breathing. It's simple, yet profoundly effective. Right now, take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Feel the air entering your lungs, the rise and fall of your chest, the sensation of the breath leaving your body. This small act of paying attention to your breath brings you back to the present moment. It's a reminder that no matter what's happening around you, you can always return to your breath to find calm. Another powerful exercise is mindful eating. In our busy lives, we often rush through meals, barely tasting our food. But the next time you eat, Try this. Put down your phone, turn off the TV, and focus entirely on your meal. Notice the colors, textures, and aromas. Take a bite and really savor the flavors and sensations as you chew. This simple practice transforms an everyday activity into a moment of mindfulness. Mindfulness can be practiced anywhere and at any time. Whether you're washing dishes, walking in the park, or even stuck in traffic, you can bring your attention to the present moment. Feel the water on your hands. Notice the movement of your legs, or observe the rhythm of the world around you. Each moment becomes an opportunity to practice presence. By staying mindful, you'll find that you're less overwhelmed by the weight of the past or the uncertainty of the future. You'll begin to experience life as it unfolds, moment by moment, with a sense of peace and clarity. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate life's challenges, but it changes your relationship with them. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond with awareness and intention. The beauty of mindfulness is that it's always accessible. You don't need special equipment, a perfect setting, or hours of free time. All you need is your attention and a willingness to be present. Over time, these small mindful moments add up, transforming the way you experience life. So, take a moment now to pause, breathe, feel the present moment fully. In mindfulness, you'll find a refuge from the chaos of the world. A place where peace and clarity reside, no matter what's happening around you. Every action we take, every word we speak, and even every thought we think sends ripples out into the world. These ripples don't just disappear, they come back to us, shaping the reality we live in. This is the essence of karma, one of the most well-known and profound teachings in Buddhism. At its core, karma is simple. Our actions create our reality. When we act with kindness, compassion, and wisdom, we cultivate peace and harmony not only in our own lives, but also in the lives of those around us. Conversely, when our actions stem from anger, selfishness, or ignorance, we sow seeds of suffering. It's important to understand that karma isn't about punishment or reward. It's about cause and effect. Every action you take sets a chain of events in motion. The energy you put out into the world, whether positive or negative, inevitably comes back to you. This isn't some mystical force. It's a natural law, as real as gravity. Think of your life as a garden. The actions you take are the seeds you plant. If you plant seeds of kindness and compassion, your garden will bloom with beauty and peace. But if you plant seeds of negativity, anger, deceit, or greed, you'll find yourself surrounded by weeds of conflict and suffering. The choice of what to plant is yours, and so are the results. Here's where this teaching becomes truly transformative. Before you act, pause and reflect on the potential consequences of your actions. How often do we react impulsively, driven by emotion, without considering the impact of our words or deeds? A harsh word spoken in anger may feel justified in the moment, but it can leave a lasting scar on someone else and on your own peace of mind. The next time you are about to react, whether it's in frustration, impatience, or even indifference, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what kind of energy am I putting out into the world? What will this action create? By cultivating this awareness, you can choose actions that align with the life you want to build. Consider this, every small act of kindness you perform has a ripple effect. A simple smile, a word of encouragement, or a helping hand can brighten someone's day and inspire them to pass that kindness on to others. These small positive actions accumulate, creating a more peaceful and harmonious reality, not just for you, but for the world around you. Practicing karma doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or hardship. Life will still have its ups and downs, but when you consistently choose actions rooted in kindness, compassion, and wisdom, you create a foundation of resilience and inner peace. You become someone who can face life's difficulties with grace, knowing that you've done your part to create a better world. Karma reminds us that we are not powerless in the face of life's challenges. We may not control everything that happens to us, but we do control how we respond. And through our responses, we shape our own destiny. By living with intention and practicing mindfulness in our actions, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. So, the next time you find yourself at a crossroads, pause, take a breath, reflect on the energy you're about to release into the world. Choose wisely, for every action is a seed, and the harvest you reap depends on what you sow. Remember, the law of karma is always at work. By practicing kindness, compassion, and wisdom, you create a reality where peace and joy can thrive. The power to shape your life is in your hands. Use it well. In life, we often find ourselves swinging between extremes. On one side, we might chase pleasure, indulging in comforts and desires. On the other, we might go to the opposite extreme, pushing ourselves too hard, denying joy, or being overly disciplined. But both paths, as Buddhism teaches, can lead to imbalance and suffering. The Buddha discovered this for himself. Before reaching enlightenment, he explored both extremes, first living in luxury, then practicing severe asceticism. Neither brought him peace. It was only when he embraced the middle way, a path of balance and moderation, that he found true harmony. The middle way, or Majjhima Patipada, is a core principle in Buddhism. It teaches us to avoid the extremes of self-indulgence and self-denial. Instead, we aim for a life of balance, where discipline and enjoyment coexist, and where we find harmony between effort and rest, action and reflection. This concept applies to every aspect of life. Think about your daily routine. Are there areas where you might be going too far in one direction? Perhaps you're working long hours without giving yourself time to rest, or maybe you're indulging in distractions and neglecting your responsibilities. Both extremes can drain your energy and peace of mind. The middle way invites you to step back and evaluate your life. Where are you out of balance? Maybe you've been too focused on achieving success, sacrificing your health or relationships in the process. Or perhaps you've been seeking comfort and avoiding challenges, leaving your potential unfulfilled. By recognizing these imbalances, you can begin to make small adjustments that bring you closer to a sustainable and harmonious way of living. Here's a practical exercise to help you embody the middle way. Take a moment to reflect on the areas of excess or deprivation in your life. Start by asking yourself, am I giving too much time and energy to work while neglecting my personal well-being? Am I pursuing pleasure or comfort at the expense of my long-term goals? Or perhaps, am I being too strict with myself, leaving no room for joy or relaxation? Once you've identified these areas, think about how you can bring more balance into your life. Maybe it's setting boundaries around your work hours to prioritize rest and family time. Or perhaps it's allowing yourself a small treat without guilt while still staying committed to your health goals. The middle way is not about perfection. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, where neither excess nor deprivation takes control. It's about listening to your needs and making choices that support your overall well-being. This balance helps you navigate life's challenges with steadiness and grace. By embracing the middle way, you'll find that you can enjoy life's pleasures without being consumed by them and pursue your goals without burning out. You'll create a life that feels sustainable, fulfilling, and deeply aligned with your values. So, take a moment today to evaluate your path. Where can you find more balance? Embrace the middle way, and you'll discover a life of harmony, where peace and fulfillment naturally flow. The ego, our sense of self, our identity, our pride, it's a powerful force, shaping how we see ourselves and the world around us. But while the ego can drive us to achieve and assert ourselves, it can also create illusions of control and superiority, setting the stage for conflict, frustration, and suffering. Buddhism teaches that the ego is often at the root of our struggles. It whispers that we are separate, special, and entitled. It convinces us that we must always defend our image, our opinions, and our status. But in reality, the ego is a fragile construct, constantly seeking validation and control over things it cannot command. And when life inevitably challenges this illusion, the result is anger, resentment, and pain. Letting go of the ego doesn't mean losing your sense of self or diminishing your worth. It means transcending the false narratives the ego creates. It's about seeing yourself not as a solitary figure standing apart from the world, but as a part of a vast interconnected whole. When you let go of the ego, you stop seeing others as threats or competitors, and you start connecting with them more authentically. This shift can be life-changing. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you no longer needed to constantly prove yourself, or if you could release the need to always be right. Letting go of the ego allows you to experience life with greater openness, compassion, and humility. So, how can we begin to let go of the ego in our daily lives? Practice humility. This doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means recognizing that you're part of something much larger. Start by acknowledging the contributions of others. When you achieve something, reflect on the people, circumstances, and even small moments of grace that helped you along the way. Another powerful practice is to remind yourself that you don't need to control everything. Life is unpredictable, and trying to impose your will on every situation only leads to frustration. Instead, embrace the flow of life, accepting that some things are beyond your control. Here's a simple exercise to help you let go of ego-driven thoughts. When you find yourself in conflict, whether it's a disagreement at work, a tense conversation with a loved one, or even an internal struggle, pause and ask yourself, am I clinging to my ego here? Are you defending your pride or trying to prove something? If so, take a step back. Ask yourself, what truly matters in this moment? How can I respond in a way that serves the greater good rather than just my ego? By practicing this self-awareness, you'll start to see conflicts in a new light. You'll realize that many of the battles we fight are fueled by the ego's need to protect its fragile sense of superiority or control. When you let go of that need, you open the door to resolution, understanding, and peace. Letting go of the ego doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong practice, but with each step you take, you'll find greater freedom and authenticity. You'll no longer feel weighed down by the constant need to defend or elevate yourself. Instead, you'll move through life with humility, gratitude, and a profound sense of connection to the world around you. So the next time you feel the ego stirring, pause. Remind yourself, you are part of something much greater. Let go of the illusions, and you'll find a deeper truth, one that connects you to the beauty and complexity of life itself. In a world that often feels divided and chaotic, compassion serves as a bridge, a way to connect, heal, and reduce suffering for yourself and those around you. Compassion for all beings is one of the most transformative teachings in Buddhism. It reminds us that, at our core, we are all interconnected, sharing the same hopes, fears, and struggles. Compassion is more than just feeling sympathy or pity. It's the active desire to alleviate suffering, to look beyond our own experiences and genuinely care for others. And here's the beauty of it. When you practice compassion, you not only help others, but also bring peace and healing to your own heart. Think about the last time you extended kindness to someone in need. Maybe it was offering a listening ear to a friend or helping a stranger with a small task. In those moments, you likely felt a sense of warmth and connection. That's the power of compassion. It reminds us of our shared humanity and breaks down the walls of isolation and misunderstanding. But compassion isn't just for those closest to us. True compassion extends to all beings, even those who challenge or oppose us. It invites us to look beyond the surface and recognize the common thread of humanity in everyone we meet. This can be especially difficult in turbulent times, but it's precisely during these moments that compassion becomes most important. So, how do we cultivate compassion in our daily lives? Start with small acts of kindness. These don't have to be grand gestures. Even the smallest actions can make a big difference. Smile at a stranger, offer a kind word, or simply take a moment to truly listen to someone without judgment. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect. It brightens someone else's day and, in turn, fosters a sense of connection and community. Over time, these small acts build up, transforming not only your relationships, but also your own inner world. Another powerful way to practice compassion is through reflection on shared humanity. The next time you encounter someone who frustrates or irritates you, pause and remind yourself, this person, like me, is facing challenges. They have dreams, fears, and struggles, just like I do. By seeing others through this lens of shared humanity, you soften your heart and open yourself to understanding. Compassion doesn't mean you have to agree with or approve of everyone's actions, but it helps you approach them with empathy rather than judgment. In times of conflict or hardship, compassion can feel like a radical act, but it's in these moments that compassion holds the greatest power. It helps dissolve anger, bridge divides, and bring peace to situations filled with tension. And when you lead with compassion, you inspire others to do the same. Remember, compassion isn't a finite resource. The more you give, the more it grows. By practicing compassion daily, you not only contribute to the well-being of others, but also nurture your own inner peace. You begin to see the world through a different lens, one of connection, understanding, and shared purpose. So, take a moment today to extend kindness to someone, no matter how small the gesture. Reflect on the humanity you share with those around you, and let compassion guide your actions. In doing so, you'll find that compassion truly does reduce suffering and foster a sense of unity even in the most turbulent times. With compassion, you hold the power to transform your world and the lives of those around you, one kind act at a time. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. Unexpected challenges arise, circumstances shift, and things happen that are beyond our control. In these moments, our instinct is often to resist, to wish things were different, to ask, why me? But, as Buddhism teaches, resisting reality only deepens our suffering. The path to peace lies in accepting life as it is, even when it's difficult. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to a life of hardship. It means acknowledging reality without trying to fight it. When you stop resisting what is, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that comes from wishing things were different. Acceptance allows you to respond to life's challenges with clarity and strength, rather than being consumed by frustration or denial. Think about a time when you faced a setback. Maybe it was the loss of a job, a relationship that ended, or a plan that fell apart. How much of your suffering came from the event itself, and how much came from your resistance to it? The anger, the what-ifs, the longing for things to be different. These reactions often cause more pain than the situation itself. Buddhism teaches that peace comes not from controlling life, but from accepting it. When you let go of the need to control or resist, you create space for inner calm, even in the midst of difficulty. Here's a practical tip to help you cultivate acceptance. When you're faced with a challenging situation, take a deep breath and repeat to yourself, "It is what it is." These simple words can be incredibly powerful. They remind you to stop fighting reality and instead focus on what you can control, your response. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and running late, rather than getting angry or anxious, pause and accept the situation as it is. Say to yourself, "It is what it is." You can't change the traffic, but you can control how you react. Perhaps you use the time to listen to a calming podcast or practice deep breathing. By shifting your focus, you turn a frustrating experience into an opportunity for mindfulness. Acceptance also applies to more significant challenges. When life throws you a curveball, a loss, a failure, or a setback, acknowledging the reality of the situation can help you move forward. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like or approve of what's happening. It simply means recognizing that this is the present moment, and resisting it won't change it. One of the most profound aspects of acceptance is how it shifts your energy. When you stop wasting time and emotional energy resisting what's beyond your control, you can focus on what truly matters, your actions, your mindset, and your growth. Acceptance empowers you to face challenges with resilience, knowing that while you may not control the situation, you always control how you respond. Acceptance isn't about passivity. It's about strength. It's about recognizing life's unpredictability and choosing to flow with it rather than against it. When you embrace acceptance, you open the door to peace, even in life's most difficult moments. So the next time you're confronted with a challenge, take a moment to pause, acknowledge what's happening without judgment, repeat to yourself, it is what it is. Then shift your focus to what you can control. In doing so, you'll find that acceptance isn't just about making peace with life's difficulties, it's about discovering your own strength and resilience within them. Acceptance allows you to let go of resistance and embrace life as it is, finding peace in the present moment. It is what it is, and that's where your power begins. In the midst of life's chaos, we often search for peace in the world around us. We look to circumstances, our jobs, relationships, or environments, hoping they will provide the calm we crave. But as Buddhism teaches, true peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within. No matter what's happening around you, there is a place of stillness and serenity inside, always waiting for you to tap into it. This inner peace isn't dependent on a perfect life or the absence of challenges. It's a state of mind, a sense of calm that remains unshaken even when life feels overwhelming. And the best part? It's always accessible. No matter where you are or what you're going through, you have the power to connect with your inner peace. Consider this. Life is full of ups and downs, moments of joy and periods of difficulty. External circumstances will always fluctuate, and if your peace is tied to these ever-changing conditions, you'll constantly be at their mercy. But when you learn to cultivate peace from within, you create a steady foundation that can carry you through life's storms. So how do we access this inner calm? One of the most powerful tools is meditation. Meditation helps quiet the noise of the world and brings your focus inward. It's a practice that allows you to reconnect with your breath, your body, and the present moment. Through meditation, you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, letting them come and go like waves in the ocean. By establishing a daily meditation practice, even if it's just for a few minutes, you create a space to return to your inner peace. It doesn't matter how busy or chaotic your life is, those few minutes can become a sanctuary, a place where you find stillness amidst the noise. Here's a simple way to start. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Focus on your breath as it moves in and out. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. There's no need to force anything, just observe. This practice trains your mind to find peace in the present moment, no matter what's happening around you. Over time, this inner stillness will begin to spill over into your daily life. You'll find yourself responding to challenges with greater calm and clarity. You'll become less reactive and more grounded, able to navigate life's turbulence with ease. It's important to remember that inner peace isn't about escaping life's difficulties. It's about finding calm within them. It's knowing that even when the world feels chaotic, you have a place of refuge inside you. This peace is your anchor, your steady ground, your constant companion. So, take a moment today to connect with your inner peace. Set aside a few minutes to meditate, breathe, and simply be. With each breath, you're reminded that peace isn't something you have to chase, it's something you already have within you. No matter what life throws your way, remember, inner peace is always accessible. It's your greatest resource, your source of strength and resilience. Cultivate it, nurture it, and carry it with you through every moment of your journey. True peace comes from within. No matter the chaos around you, your inner calm is always within reach. Tap into it, and you'll find that life's storms can never shake your unshakable core. Life's turmoil is unavoidable. Challenges will come, and change is inevitable. But as we've explored in this video, these 10 profound Buddhist teachings offer a path to peace and resilience. From embracing impermanence to letting go of the ego, from practicing compassion to finding your inner calm, these principles empower you to remain calm, centered, and unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. Each teaching is a stepping stone toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. By applying them, you'll discover that peace isn't something you find outside of yourself, it's something you cultivate within. If you found these teachings valuable, we'd love to hear from you. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which teaching resonated with you the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on living a balanced and peaceful life. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, may you walk the path of peace and wisdom.